All right, what's up, everybody? Hey, if you're a Jags fan, you know that we do a lot of Jags videos on this show here on Sports Talk Extra. And if you don't know about this, we are a couple of guys, obviously Lions fans, but we started a second channel after our Sports Talk Detroit one called Sports Talk Extra because we love and have a connection with these small media market teams, the teams that don't get enough national attention, national love. Jags absolutely being one of those. And so just want to throw another one out here. And you see the title. There was an unsung hero here. And it was kind of interesting as I was getting ready to set fantasy lineups, as I was getting ready to predict games and all that kind of stuff. I just had this feeling like the Jags are going to win this game. Jacksonville is going to somehow beat Buffalo. And it doesn't make sense because Buffalo's defense has been phenomenal. They're coming off a big victory, all of these different things. And they kind of been answering the question the Bills have of, hey, we're legit. We're still a contender for the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, with Jacksonville, it felt like things were kind of going the other way. Sure, they got a victory against Atlanta last week in London, but at the same time, it didn't feel like they were going super far. So why did I have this feeling that the Jacksonville Jags were going to win? It's probably the same reason ETN had a feeling he was going to have a big game. It is the unsung hero. It is the fact that they were in London not one, but 2 weeks in a row. I think this was a really, really big deal for them. And so ETN said as much. He didn't even mince words. He said, I felt like it really created a great edge for us. He told Pro Football Today by phone from London. He said, just before the Jags were preparing to go wheels up in America, he said this, I just knowing how I felt last Sunday in the Falcons game, the first game we had out here, and having a whole week out here, just being able to get our bodies adjusted and not having to have that jet lag on us throughout the game, I just feel like it played a huge part. And that is a huge part. This dude ended up the biggest factor, the unsung hero, the X factor, the whatever you want to call it, is simple. They got to stay there. They got to stay there for the week. We've all traveled across, well, not all of us, but many of us have traveled across time zones. That whole jet lag thing is weird. I have people that I know that will go to the California, I'm in Michigan, 3 hours behind, and they just stay on the same time that they were at in Michigan. So they just go to bed early and wake up early because they don't want to deal with the whole jet lag thing. It's real. Is it 5 hours? Is it 6 hours over to London? That's real too. Then he went on to say, I kind of felt like I was going to have a good day this morning. He said, just getting ready for the game, listening to music, and just hanging around the locker room. I kind of felt like it was going to be a good day for us, and it was going to be my day, honestly. He knew. He knew what was going on. So, yes, the unsung hero, the X factor, whatever you want to call it, is that. But there were other things in this game. It was a weird game. There were a ton of yards, all right, especially by the Jags. But Buffalo was throwing around the yard. But Jacksonville kind of had this bend, don't break mentality, and Buffalo had 7 points going into the fourth quarter. That's insanity. To hold the Bills to 7 points, to hold Josh Allen, especially when he's throwing around for 360 yards, and a lot of that is fourth quarter, chucking the ball around. All right. Big interception when you need it. You think for a fact, that Stephon Diggs is going to come up with that deep ball. But Darius Williams is like, not today. I'm taking that from you, bro. And I loved that. But the other unsung hero here is just the run defense. The Bills have had success on the ground. They've had success, but they had none. If you talk about Josh Allen, you take away his 14 yards rushing, you have a combined 10 carries by running backs for 15 yards. James Cook has been good this year. 5 carries, -4 yards. Damian Harris, 3 for 13. Latavius Murray, 2 for 6. They never got the run game going at all. This run defense is good. When you talk to people in the beginning of the year and you said, All right, Jacksonville. They can be a good team. They can play with anybody. The thought was why? Why? Because they had an offense that could score with anybody, with anybody. But that hasn't been the case. So I've actually been really impressed with this defense. Outside of the outlier against the Texans, which we're seeing to be an outlier, in the other 4 games that they've played against different levels of offense, they held the Colts to 21. They held the Chiefs to 17. They held the Falcons to 7 and the Bills to 20. If this defense can continue to play at that level and this offense starts to hum along, which it feels like this offense is starting to hum along, it seems like Trevor Lawrence is starting to get comfortable throwing the ball all around the yard. All right. Kirk and Ridley are becoming a 1-2 monster right now. And then when you have Ingram in there at tight end, and then ETN and all the things that he can do and his danger both in the run and passing game, like this is starting to become the offense that we thought it could be. All right. Because there were a ton of yards in this game. Now the question is when are they going to start throwing down 30 plus point games? All right. Because Buffalo's defense has been really good this year. It has been really good this year up until this game. They allowed 22 to the Jets. They only allowed 10 to the Raiders. They only allowed 3 to the Commanders. They smoked the Dolphins, only allowing 20 points to the Dolphins, which is arguably the best offense in the NFL, even though I think San Francisco is kind of saying, yeah, that actually might belong to us. So we look at all these things combined, and all of a sudden, Jacksonville's sitting at 3-2. Right? They get through the first 5 games. The first couple games are usually kind of a crapshoot anyway because teams are getting ready. They're getting used to what they're doing. And so here they are. And now you have them. They're through these first couple games. They're doing well. And they're starting to find their groove. Everybody was hitting the panic button at 1 and 2. Oh, are the Jags pretenders? How good are they? They're good. They're good. Okay. So let's just realize that they are good. All right. And let's not panic. Let's realize Trevor Lawrence is still a good quarterback. Let's realize that they have arguably the best wide receiving core in the game and that ETN has been balling out. So let's not just pretend like the talent isn't there. And if you have a defense that could just be all they had to be was a top 15, top 20 defense this year, and we felt like the Jaguars were going to be at minimum a playoff team, it's starting to come to fruition. And we're starting to see that, hey, they could do some things here. They could absolutely do some things. So that's all I kind of got for you in this video. Hope you liked it. Leave a comment below. What's your confidence level in the Jags? And I would love to hear that. See how you're feeling down there on Duval. So let me know, and hopefully we'll see you on the next video. Peace.